Welcome to She Fascinates Me, a hand-picked collection of heartfelt, human conversations with women who've lived boldly, grown wiser, and have stories worth sharing. In a world flooded with AI content and perfectly polished personas, we're all craving something real, and you can't fake this. From big reinventions and quiet pivots to wisdom on wellness, leadership, and turning a passion into a business, each episode is honest, inspiring, and full of connection. I met Amy Brown on the tennis court at the country club and loved her silly energy right away. You can tell that she's really smart, she's absolutely beautiful, and has the biggest and best smile. When I learned that she's a stand-up comic, I rounded up some friends and bought tickets to one of her shows in Atlanta. Her comedy is so relatable. I've enjoyed binging episodes of Amy Brown Comedy Podcast and was so delighted by her comedy special called Indoor Wife. It's so fun cheering her on when I see all of these show dates pop up all around the country. She's even opened for one of my favorite Real Housewives, Sonia Morgan, on her show Sonia in Your City. It's just thrilling to witness her hard work and talent. She's the real deal, and I can't wait for y'all to meet her. Hello, and welcome to She Fascinates Me. I'm your host, Julie Silber, and today I'm with my friend Amy Brown, and I love her story. I find her so fascinating because she went from interior design to stand-up comedy, and she's killing it and having so much fun. How are you, my dear?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for making the time. I know you're busy, constantly preparing for all of your comedy gigs around the Southeast and the country. Where are you going next?
I'm going to Denver, Colorado on Saturday. I have 3 shows. I work with this program called Moms Unhinged. It's a really cool program. They hire all mom comics, and they have shows across the country in Portland, like just everywhere, Texas, Kansas, South Dakota, Maryland. I'm doing 3 shows next week there, and then I'm headed to Dallas. I'm going to do the Dallas Comedy Club. I'm trying to sell tickets. If anyone's
Okay.
in Dallas and want to have a fun time, come see me. Yeah, that's where I'm headed next.
Can you take me through how all of this came to be? Where do you want to start with that story?
I feel like this is a classic midlife crisis story. It's like you kind of just I was sitting on my sofa and I was watching television. My children were in bed. They didn't need me that anymore that night. And I was drinking wine and I was eating Cheez-It crackers, and I fast forwarded 30 years and I panicked. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to die here of a fatty butt and a fatty liver. I can't keep doing this every night. I need to do something fun." And I went on my phone and I signed up for an improv class, and I signed up my best friend because it's terrifying. And my friend Jose and I went, and we had a great time at the improv class. And after I had done a season of that, I decided to try stand-up comedy. I signed up for a stand-up comedy class. Loved that. Okay, the difference between improv
Yeah. I was just
and
about to ask, what is
stand-up
the difference?
stand-up comedy. Improv is the group of young people usually on the stage, and they'll ask the audience for recommendations. They'll be like, "What's something blue in your bedroom?" And then, "Where was the last trip you went to?" And they'll say Poland. And so they'll do a skit based on a blue vibrator from Poland or something like that. And so that's
Those
improv.
Polish
That's a
vibrators,
skill.
I've heard they're really great. Okay. God.
Yeah, that's a
I
skill.
knew we were going to go here.
That's a skill. Or people can speak in accents. They can do callbacks quickly. They can make popular references to what's happening in the news and bring it into a scene. And
Mhm.
it's happening live in front of you, and it can go very well or it can go very poorly. It's nerve-wracking. Yeah, I like stand-up where I get to like think about what I want to talk about, and then put it into the language of comedy and bring it to the stage and show people how funny I am. And it sounds like I'm making it up right there, but I had definitely worked on it probably for years before I get all of my jokes nice and polished and ready for people.
Do you have any kind of background on a stage?
I did a lot of musical theater when I was in middle school and high school and
Mhm.
college. and I was missing it. I was missing it. And I actually turned that passion into a Broadway sing along party that I have at my house like 3 times a year. And us little Broadway nerds, we dork out real bad. And it's probably best that we don't have cameras set up for it, but it's how I I get what I need in that department.
That sounds like so much fun. So that moment on the couch with the Cheez-Its and the wine and the worries, had you thought at all about improv, or was it one of those little impulsive, I've had some wine, I'm just going to do this kind of moments?
So I had gone to a kind of a team building meeting, and they had improv instructors there, and
Okay.
I was on fire. I was something in my body. Whenever you feel like you're coveting someone's life or experience, that's God telling you to pay attention. Maybe you should go
Yeah.
try that or work on it or make more space in your life for it. And yeah, so jealousy, I think, is something to pay attention to. I was jealous that these women got to go and their job was training, teaching improv to people, and I was it lit a little fire or match
Got
or
it.
whatever the saying is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's great. I think, I asked that question because I think so many of us in our middle age are inspired and looking for something new to do. Finally, we've got the time for ourselves. Like you said, the kids didn't need you in that moment, or maybe you were just worried about what the future held. But we have so many opportunities, especially as women, I think, to make a change. I'm glad you gave that to yourself. So, did you love the improv, or did it feel like it was too high stress having to just come up with things
It
so
was
quickly, rapid fire?
terror terrifying the whole time,
Okay.
but it was fun to get the laughs when you finally like did it right. I mean, I
Yeah.
when I started doing stand up, I had diarrhea for a year. It's all of this is terrifying. I mean, I saved money from going to Weight Watchers, but like none of this is makes sense or is normal. And at the same time, I loved it more when I got a laugh than all of the scary parts around it. And the more
Okay.
I've done it, the more the scary parts have gotten less, and my stomach's
Okay.
better, and I'm not as nervous, and it just takes a while. And I'm kind of grateful that I think I wouldn't have had the fortitude to do this in my 20s perhaps, like, but being in my 40s doing it, I knew I would get maybe on the other side of the it sucks part. Um,
Yeah.
and if I didn't, at least I tried for 2 years or
Sure.
whatever.
So, something about for me being 50, I feel very confident now, like with fashion or socially or choices I'm making with hair and makeup. Do you feel like anything about being in your 40s gave you confidence to start comedy?
Oh, it's a great question. I think if it might be age, but it's maybe having babies. Like I've just been naked on a table, and after that, I don't give a flip anymore, and I don't feel confident about my fashion at all, actually. But I kind of don't care anymore. Like I
Yeah.
think there's just not giving a flip, and I'm looking at the women who are ahead of, like, who are like in their 70s, and I'm excited because they really don't give a flip. Oh,
That's going to be a
yeah.
really, really fun time for you. Do you feel like you have a filter?
On my brain?
Yeah, like a filter. Like, do you just say whatever comes to your
Oh,
mind? Are you that type of person? Do you feel
zero
like,
filter. It's a
yeah.
problem. It's
So,
always been a problem. My husband has been kicking me under the dinner table at people's houses since we started dating 27 years ago. Like,
so for
it's not
people,
okay.
so for people whose filters disappear as they get older, do you foresee yourself going into filter deficit? And then what's going to happen? Is he going to like drag you under the table and you're going to have like a rolling around wrestling match under the table?
I'm worried. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't put up with like small talk anymore. I'm used to hanging out with
Yeah.
comedians and my girlfriends who are just, they write to the core of stuff. Let's laugh.
Yeah.
We're not gonna be timid. Yeah, I'm probably insufferable at a dinner party.
So I have a question. For someone who's really, really funny, do you have like an off button? Do you feel pressure to be funny all the time? Are there when you're not being funny, what are you doing, or what is your personality like if you're not like on funny mode?
Oh, if and then I'm sleeping. I'm like a toddler. I'm either on or I'm off. And there's
Okay.
actually, I've been to, like, when we go to meet with our mortgage people and stuff like that, I'm like just trying to just be a grown up and trying not to interrupt. And if
Mm-hmm.
if I get one joke off and they laugh, it's over. Then I'm like, okay, game on. We're doing this.
Floodgates
So
are
it's
open.
yeah.
Can you categorize? I know you call yourself nerdy, dirty comedy, but can you kind of give a little more information about that type of comedy? And then I have a question I want to ask you.
Yeah, I'm finding as I'm traveling around the country and talking about things, the jokes that I like to do the most are the ones that resonate with the ladies in the audience. And these are
Mm-hmm.
this program's called Moms Unhinged that I do, and it's all moms in the audience. And I am really leaning into my perimenopause,
Yeah.
stories about my grandma, like what's happening to our bodies, what I did in my 20s, and that is resonating with the ladies. They're like, yes, I wore
Yes.
low-rise jeans too. I remember. And so it's not necessarily dirty, but I am talking about a woman's body, and so it's not necessarily talking about hot pockets. No shade on Jim Gaffigan, but I don't do I don't do
Okay.
just food jokes. I'm talking about things that I have feelings about, and the women in the audience have feelings about.
I have a question for you then. Do you ever feel like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said that? Or my mom is going to die when she knows I brought this part up about a vagina or whatever. Like, is there any part of you that worries about that kind of stuff as a comedian?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
But if
But
I
you do
get
it
a
anyway.
laugh,
Yeah. Yeah.
if I get a laugh, I put it on. I'm like, well, we're not getting rid of that joke, but maybe we
Okay.
don't put it on the internet. Maybe we don't do it in front of mom.
Okay. Does your mom watch your podcast and your shows?
She does. I have
Yeah.
wonderful parents. They're very
Yeah.
supportive. Even my husband's been watching my podcast. It's called Amy Brown Comedy Podcast, plug. And I'm
Yes.
like, don't you get enough of me yapping in your ear already? And he's like, no, it's funny. I like it. I married the right man.
You did, and he's very, very smart. So are you. I mean, your intelligence and your wit shine through so much in your comedy. I watched your special. Your comedy special was amazing. It was
Thank
so well
you.
done.
I
She got a
appreciate that.
billboard, you guys. She got a billboard, and I
I had
loved
a
seeing your
billboard.
billboard. Amazing. But I mean, you're just so good. You're so smart. The way everything connects, and just you can feel how the audience relates to everything. I just love it. You're really, really entertaining. So, can we go back to the interior design career you had? How long were you doing that? And when did you start to feel the itch to switch to this?
Well, thank you for all of those positive sentiments about my comedy. I appreciate that. So much of doing comedy is seeing which jokes work and which ones don't. And so you're getting rejection kind of constantly. So whenever someone says something nice, it's always very, it makes me feel good. Thank you. I appreciate that. Especially I have
Well, you've got
teenage
a thick
boys.
skin. It's got to be really hard to deal with rejection for sure. I mean,
Oh,
I know that I worry about it just in this new podcaster mode that I'm in. It's one of the reasons that it held me back for so long from actually starting it. By the way, thank you for helping me by putting me together with my producer. We share the same producer, Joel,
yes.
and that was just a nice little let's build another woman up kind of moment. But get back to what you were saying. I mean, I admire that you can handle the rejection like you're talking about. That is such a huge skill and a great
Right.
quality to have.
Well, I think I'm curious about this because I feel like growing up in the 80s, and I was, I was taking piano lessons and what like doing all the, and no one held back on giving you feedback. Like I was actively receiving feedback my entire childhood, teen years, and so I feel like some generations that have come after us are not necessarily used to getting feedback, and it kind of destroys
Mm-hmm.
them a little bit. And um but I feel like if anyone's taking the energy to tell you something that might be hard to hear, they care about you to tell you. Not necessarily everybody, some people are
Right.
just dicks, but
Right.
it's if someone's like, hey, especially like an older comedian has takes the time to give me some advice,
Mm-hmm.
that means they care about you, and not that they're trying to push you down or whatever. I think standing up and doing jokes over and over again, and you're getting feedback from the audience, and in different parts of the country. You're like, okay, let's see if they like this. Let's see. Okay, they didn't like that. Keep
Yes.
going. Move on to something else. That's resilience.
Well, I have a
I don't
question about
know.
that part of it. Do you have someone like backstage who's kind of making notes on that? Like, okay, nobody laughed at this one. They're going to write down the joke. Or are you like logging that in the moment while you're up there on stage, talking to all these people, dealing with remembering what you want to say and whatever emotions you may have up there? It seems like it would be hard for you to process all of that, but is it?
At the beginning, oh, okay. Have you ever seen a movie where like a bomb explodes and they put like a sound of like
Yes.
maybe the
In your ears?
concussion in the actor's ear?
Yes.
Or the character's ear. That's what it was like for me, like probably for the first year, just from the anxiety of being on
Wow.
stage. And I'd come off stage and I'm like, what happened? And so you
Golly.
record all of your sets. You record them with your phone, the vocals. You can also do a
Mm-hmm.
camera, and then you go back and you see where the laughs were. Now that I've been doing it for 8 years, I am doing it all in real time. I'm like, this joke
Okay.
usually gets more laughs, like, and then the next joke's coming out of my mouth, and I'm like doing the next joke, and I'm like, well, maybe I should change which joke I'm going to do, the one after this one, because I want to take the audience down this road instead of the next, and at the same time I'm delivering the jokes.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
wild.
So real time. And I mean, I guess anything that you work hard at and you do enough of it, you're just going to continue to hone those skills. So how proud must you feel right now getting to that point where you're past the ringing in the ears bomb?
I mean, it's hard to pat yourself on the back when you're like, I am trying to meet with management or anybody like that, and they're like, we can't even do anything with you until you have 100,000 followers on Instagram. So it's I want to do this, and it's a really hard thing to do to be successful. There's a lot of comedians right now. There's a boom, so it's kind of
Okay.
if you're into comedy, your phone is probably just filled with people doing sets, people doing crowd work sets, and you have 2 seconds to kind of get someone's attention. And every time you think you're going to get a good video, like the server walks in front of the camera or the
Oh,
sound doesn't
okay.
come through. It's um it's a really hard career choice if to actually make money at it. Right now, I tell my husband it's cheaper than golf. Okay, so get off my back.
I asked you a minute ago about the on or the off switch, but like when you're not just boom, I'm out sleeping, what's the reality of the actual rest and recharge time for you besides sleeping? What do you
Oh,
do?
my brain. I've learned so much about the human brain trying
Mhm.
to memorize sets and orders of jokes and new tags and ways of saying things. I have to run my set the day before so it can
Mhm.
log into my brain and while I sleep. And then the
Okay.
next day I'll wake up and it's in there. It's wild. And then I cannot be tired at all. I'll take a nap before a show. I kind of like reserve my energy so I can just be joyful. And I'm doing all of this because I want to connect with people. I
Yeah.
really, and especially perimenopausal women. Let's go. You know what I mean? Like no one, I can't. I don't want to talk about football. I want to talk about what's happening to my leg
Yes.
hair. Like,
Yeah. Mine's disappearing. Are you getting more? Mine's disappearing.
so I'm doing a little hormonal replacement therapy. I have a testosterone cream I put on my inner thigh, and now I have new hairs popping up in weird
Oh.
places, and it's alarming. It is.
Okay. Oh my gosh. What about the yams? Have you tried anything with yams? I remember my mom was
I
rubbing
know
yams
that's a
in on
kind of
herself.
progesterone.
Oh,
People are trying to do yams instead. I went right to the doctor. I have progesterone
yeah.
pills I take. Yeah.
Okay. You still haven't answered my question about how do you go from interior designer to comedian?
Oh,
How long did you
oh.
do that
So
job for?
I feathered it in. It was I was starting to get burned out on interior design. I love beautiful spaces, but I also love helping people. I had clients I absolutely loved,
Hmm.
and I used my wanting them to have a beautiful place to raise their families as leverage to kind of limp across the interior design finish line. I just got to the point where Like I was tired of driving around Atlanta looking for things.
Hmm.
My back was going out. And I stopped caring about like
Yeah.
the perfect lampshade. It just the passion left when stand up came in and could write jokes
Yeah.
all day.
Yeah.
That it just kind of that's the
Sure.
creative button I'm using now.
Back to talking about creative button. I know that my creativity happens when I'm trying to go to sleep.
Oh,
So you
that's
were
the
saying
worst.
before you want to run your set the day before so that it can kind of absorb into your brain in the night while you're sleeping. So for you, it's different. You're not actually trying to go to sleep and
Oh,
designing what you're going to talk about,
it's
or does that
okay.
happen?
Like when you come home from a show, and if it's a good show, you're thinking about the jokes, and then if there's new tags, and should you move the order around? And if it's a bad show, you want to kill yourself, and you're thinking about the jokes and what you did, and should you do a different order, and what could have you done differently? It's
Yeah.
really hard to come down from the show, and I think that's where a lot of comedians in the past would have a substance abuse problems. They'd
Hmm.
have to have a drink to come down. And I thank God for melatonin.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
that now, and I also will put on headphones and I'll listen to David Sedaris books because I've listened
Okay.
to them so many times. I don't have to pay attention, and you can put a timer on your Audible. So I'll do like a 15-minute timer. Listen, I'm going through all of his books over and over again, and that helps my brain stop thinking about fixing the jokes and writing new ones, so I
Okay.
can sleep. Impossible though. Sleep, especially at our
Yeah.
age, sleeping is so hard.
Yeah, it really is. So it's not a fun thing to go through. I'm finding myself getting up earlier now, 5:30 in the morning. I don't want to get up that early. Ugh.
Ugh. Yeah, I was up at 5:30 this morning and I went back to sleep and woke up at 9.
Yeah, good for you. So it takes a lot of work for you to write. Are you spending, like, you're working at night doing these shows, right? I'm assuming these are not brunch shows, these are late night shows. And so are you working kind of full time during the days writing? How do you structure all of
Right?
that part of the job?
So a lot of it is trying to sell tickets, trying to email bookers during the day, trying to get videos on the internet, doing my podcast, trying to get those clips on the internet, trying to get that out into the world. And then I'm writing a book. So I'm on like chapter 11
Ooh.
of a fun, it's like it's David Sedaris style book. I'm very inspired by him. And then I'm trying to exercise and make sure the dog has a life and gets to go to the park, and
Yeah.
trying to eat healthy. And somehow I know I'm making progress. It never feels, because I never get to finish anything basically. I don't feel, it feels overwhelming a lot of the time. Because I
Okay.
also
Well,
feel pressured to get it done now. I don't know why. I think maybe I want to get it done before my parents die.
mm-hmm.
We're in the sandwich years where our parents are getting older, and yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure they're incredibly proud of you already for what you're doing, but it would be nice to have that book done. I have an editor friend I can connect you with if you need one. So
Ooh, I would
I
love
do
that.
have a question for you about ADHD. You've talked about that on your
Yeah.
podcast and I think in some of your sets, right? I have adult onset ADHD. And I mean, you do so many things. You're just talking about all the things you need to get done. Do you think that the ADHD helps you? Because I kind of feel like it helps me, although it is hard to finish things sometimes and be as organized as I'd like. But I like hopping around and doing a bunch of things related to this
Right.
podcast.
Right. I was taking medication for a second, and it was
Hmm.
helping me get a lot more done, but I was also burning out at night and getting exhausted and sad at the end of the day. I I think I enjoy having the variety,
Hmm.
and I also think I enjoy being able to interrupt people at dinner parties if their story
Yeah.
is boring. And I
Yeah.
can just be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I have ADHD. We're going to talk about me now."
I think they've done studies to show that some of the funniest people do have ADHD. So I guess it's a little gift, right?
It's right. Well, that's like why I think so many of them are comedians, because
Hmm.
if you think about it, like the pressure makes you focus, because you're on stage and it's causing anxiety, and then you're getting laughs, and at the same time your brain is bouncing around and connecting
Hmm.
like popular culture with what this person just said with what something happened earlier in the room, and it's like a ping pong ball,
Yeah.
and it's entertaining.
Was there a moment when you decided, I really just want the audience to be women?
Oh, well, doing the Moms Unhinged program and being able to do stand up to a theater filled with women who got a sitter, got a little drunk, are there to have fun. It's the best time. They're there to laugh. They're laughing so hard. They're relating. When I started doing comedy, it was usually in rooms of men, there'd be a couple women, and they were all in their 20s. I was in my 40s. They're not relating to this my material, and so I'm so glad I didn't throw those jokes away. I put them on the shelf.
Hmm.
And I was so excited to pull them down when I finally was put in front of the people who I relate to and who relate
Yes.
to me. Yeah, it's the best.
And now we'll take a moment for the giving intermission. Don't fast forward, your karma is watching. Today's giving intermission shines a light on Agape Youth and Family Center right here in Atlanta. For more than 25 years, Agape has been walking alongside kids and families in underserved communities, helping break the cycle of poverty and opening doors to brighter futures. They serve about 200 children every day with free after-school programs, tutoring, mentoring, meals, and enrichment activities. Plus, they support families with everything from school supplies to parenting workshops and community resources. The heart of Agape is simple. Every child deserves the chance to thrive, and every family deserves support along the way. If you'd like to get involved, there are so many ways. You can volunteer as a tutor or a mentor, help serve meals, sponsor school supplies, or of course make a donation to keep these programs strong. You'll find all of the details at agapeatlanta.org. That's AGAPE Atlanta.org. If you're someone funny out there and you're wanting to kind of get into comedy, you started with an improv class and then you did a stand-up class. Is there any order that you should do that in? What kind of advice do you have for someone who might want to dip their toes in the funny pool?
I love this question. There is a need for women of a certain age to be in this industry and sharing their voice so we can be together. Leanne Morgan popped
Yeah,
off and she became very famous because she was scratching an itch. And they were talking about actually that the comedy clubs, when she would go to the comedy clubs and sell out, it was women and men who had never been to see comedy before. She created a new market for herself because she was so relatable online. Now,
yeah.
if you are a funny person and you have wanted to try something, I would say take an improv class and take a stand up class and see which
Mm-hmm.
one you like. There is, if you listen, if you're into comedy, you might listen to podcasts, and the comedians will, some of them, especially the older ones, will poo poo a lesson, a class. And that's not the case anymore. It's a wonderful way to learn how to write jokes and to be in kind of a safe space because everyone's
Yeah.
starting together. And then you go together to the open mics, which are terrifying. And you have buddy system so that you're not doing this alone. And that's what makes it actually fun is having a community
Yes.
and uh trying something new. And it's good. I think it's interesting on or helpful actually on multiple levels is taking these classes because even if you decide not to be a comedian you can still improve your communication skills. It's helpful if you ever
Mm-hmm.
have to give a speech. It's helpful if you are a boss. Improv is helpful for being silly. If you have children or nieces and nephews and you take an improv class, it teaches you to be very silly and fun. And I
Yeah.
had my children take improv classes and now they're silly and fun and we can all do that together even though they're adults. And if you do decide to be a stand-up comic,
Mm-hmm.
God bless you. Get ready. There's going to be ups and downs a lot. But it's find people who you like, watch everyone around you as much as possible, take notes, listen to podcasts about it. I have a list of joke writing podcasts that I like to do in the best way. And then this was what happened to me is I ran a show for years. I ran a couple shows, so I could give myself stage time and meet the comics and get to know them. And then if I did well enough, they would book me on their shows. And it's just that's the
Okay.
kind of it's like going to the gym too. The more you get on stage, hopefully, the better you get, and everyone will eventually hit as good as they can get, kind of, or as far as they want to go.
Right.
I'm still getting better, and I've been doing it for 8 years. So comedy is a juicy bone to chew on. You're not gonna hit a ceiling hopefully right away. If you do, maybe don't do stand up and try something else. Pickleball. Try pickleball.
Yeah, try pickleball. Okay, so I have a question. What was the very first experience like for you when you were up there on stage in front of an audience for the first time? How big was the audience? Where were you? How did it feel? I want to understand the whole thing.
Yes, it's coming up. It was in October 8 years ago, and my nephew was born on the same day. And it was with a class, and we were doing a rehearsal show in Decatur at a coffee shop at night. And we were when you first start doing comedy, your friends are excited for you if you have
Hmm.
friends. Not everyone has friends, I found out. um, yeah, your friends are excited. They want to come see you, and they're like willing to come see you. Don't burn them out. Don't burn out your friends coming to see you do the same jokes, and you only get 5 minutes. And say like have them come, but don't have them come to everything, because they'll
Okay.
eventually they'll get tired, and you'll run out of your friends being able to sell tickets to, and then you have to actually sell tickets, which is really hard. But
Okay.
yeah, it was at a coffee shop, and I had my friend Deidre was there, and actually, just I'm headlining in Marietta uh, next month, and she's gonna be there. So here we are, 8 years later. Deidre is still coming, which is so
I love it.
supportive.
Yeah.
I did well. I have the tape. I got laughs. It's hard to tell how many laughs are real versus how many friends I had, because your friends will laugh for you more than regular people. I
Right.
overacted so much. I was
Okay.
so performative. It's from my musical theater background and my
Yeah.
anxiety. So it's embarrassing to watch, and it makes my armpits sweat. So I try not to do that.
So yeah, I mean, there's got to be so much self-awareness. I mean, I have that going on right now when I'm podcasting on video. Why I chose to do video, I don't know. I say it's because I feel like I'm a very expressive person and I want people to see my guests' expressions and see their eyes light up when they talk about their passion. But oh my gosh, it's a lot of pressure. I can't even imagine what it's like to be on a stage in front of a live audience that you have to make laugh.
Oh, it's terrifying every time still. But I
Yeah.
don't know. I've also bombed enough that I know I survived that too. So that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah,
feel
it's.
like
I
you
mean,
are so much stronger now just because of surviving through the bombs?
I feel more stable, I would say.
Hmm.
I I've been through the ups and downs. I've been crying in the car on the way home from the
Yeah.
show.
Hmm.
Uh but I still haven't said this isn't worth it. I'm going to
Yeah.
give up.
Yeah.
So I feel more stable emotionally about it, which makes me feel a little bit like a grown up with
Yeah.
but I'm definitely having more fun. I'm definitely having more fun in my life than if I hadn't started doing this. Hanging out with
You have
comics is
problems
so
with
much
your
fun.
voice from all of the talking. If you're on stage doing a
No,
long bit day
right?
after day after day.
Right?
Oh, wait,
I do a
there's a
bit.
difference between a bit and a set. A bit is just a joke, right? A set's the whole thing, right?
Correct. Yeah, there's a bit
So,
is like I've got a bit on pimento cheese. I've got a chunk on southern food, and it's in my set, which is what you did that night.
it's kind of like the
There you
scattered,
go. This
smothered covered of comedy. Okay. Or the
yeah.
small, medium, large, supersize in fast food. Okay, I understand
Yeah.
now. So, do you have to take care of your voice?
Oh, that's a great question. I opened for a famous comedian, and by he did like 5 shows in a weekend, and by the last one he was losing his voice. He does do a lot of like
Hmm.
ah like sounds, like gravelly sounds when he's doing character work.
Oh,
I've had like if I've done a couple shows in a row, and I do a little bit of growling, and that'll take its toll on my voice, but I haven't quite yet run out of vocal. I'm trying to use my musical theater training to support properly, but sometimes it's hard.
Is there anything that you do to get in the zone right before you step on the stage? Any tricks?
I will run my set. I will write the first part of the word of each kind of bit or chunk I'm about to do. Um, I get quieter before I go on, just to be like centered. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Make
Okay.
sure I've got my underpants on.
Let's talk about hecklers. Have you had to deal with that before? I'm thinking probably not when you do these
Oh,
moms on Hinge because everyone's relating to what you're saying, but what's it like to handle a heckler?
oh, this is a great question. I'm so glad you asked this because a heckler is 99% of the time a drunk person that doesn't know
Okay.
that their words are coming out of their face hole. They think they're having thoughts, but it's coming out of their mouth and they are so hammered. They don't know they're yelling. I have had, even at these mom shows, I've had the craziest experiences. There was these two old ladies having a conversation full volume in front of me, and it was I'm not going to some people like annihilate a heckler. No, no, these people are like toddlers. You have to help them either
Okay.
relocate to the hall or be quiet
Right.
if they can. These ladies, and it's becomes a problem, especially when you're looking out. I'm the comedian looking out the audience, and the entire audience is looking at the people talking, or the drunk person trying to talk
Yeah.
at you. It makes me worried how they're going to get home of these drunk people.
Yeah. So when a joke comes to you, does it just come to you and it is what it is and it's great? Or do you have to tweak it? I'm wondering sometimes if you overwork it, it's not good and you got to stick with what you started with.
Oh, it's okay. The joke comes into your mind. It is the best joke I have ever written. I am a creative genius. And then you write it down. And then 15 minutes later, you go back to your piece of paper and you're like, this is terrible. Why did I think this was so funny? And then if it's good enough after looking at it after a couple days, then you might try it on stage. And if the audience doesn't like it, you're like, I knew it was trash. And if they like it, you're like, I knew it would work.
Is your atomic physicist husband part of your pre-screening process for your jokes?
Absolutely not. No, he
Okay.
doesn't think anything is going to be funny. And then he laughs the whole time when I'm on stage. So he doesn't know what he's talking about.
I know he's your number one fan. It's sweet when he goes to your shows. So I can't
I
wait to see
married
you
the right
next in
man.
Atlanta. Yeah, you did. Sorry, go
I
ahead.
set my camera up next to my husband when I was doing two headlining sets back to back. He laughed the same at the same jokes in both shows. I married the right man.
Yes, you did. How sweet. Well, this was so fun getting to talk to you and just, getting to pick your brain. I really hate that expression, but I didn't know what else to say. So it was just really
That's
interesting finding out how all of this has come together for you, and you've satisfied my curiosity on a lot of elements of what you do.
I am so proud of you for going on this adventure. And it really is an adventure learning all these new skills and doing a podcast and talking to people and being on camera and lining up all this stuff.
Yeah.
Some people, I think as they age, they get scared and some people get brave.
I wish you well with continuing to sell tickets in Dallas.
Recording this conversation with Amy was such a treat. As a new podcaster, she was exactly what I needed: disarming, funny, reassuring, and endlessly patient with me. Let's just say my producer Joel had his work cut out for him on my end of the episode. Amy truly gave us an inside look at the many layers of building a stand-up career. It's not just about being funny on stage. It's about grit, hustle, and patience with yourself. I may have been a little starstruck, but more than that, I walked away with a huge admiration for her work ethic and her generosity in sharing her story with us. I'm so grateful that she joined me here and gave us a sneak peek into her world. I know that you'll be cheering her on right alongside me. She Fascinates Me is a project that took real courage for me to start. I sat with this idea for more than 2 years before I finally found the nerve to bring it to life. What held me back? I don't have formal training in media. I'm not especially tech savvy. And like so many women, I worried about criticism. I'm sharing this because it's the real side of me as your host. Every woman who joins me on this show shows up with honesty, heart, and courage, and I owe you the same. My guests are real, and so am I.
So the fact that you're here, listening all the way to the end, means you gave me a chance. And for that, I'm truly grateful. If only more women built each other up the way you just did by showing up and listening. This podcast is my brave step. There will be critiques along the way, and I may take some of them to heart, or I may not, but either way, I'm here. I'm doing it, and I am proud of that. At its heart, She Fascinates Me is about connection and community and the way a podcast can feel like good company for busy women. I'm glad we connected today. You can expand our community of fascinating women by dropping me a line. Who fascinates you?
Hey everyone, this is me, Joel. I'm just here as the producer and editor of She Fascinates Me to let you all know that we would love if you could go follow us on any social media app you use, like and rate us on whatever podcatcher app you're using, and tell all your friends about the show. If you enjoyed listening to the show but want to watch it, go check us out on Spotify Videos, where all the episodes have the video format uploaded as well. If you don't use Spotify, check us out on youtube.com under She Fascinates Me. All full video episodes are posted up there, and you can see tons of clips on the show on Instagram and other social media apps. Thank you so much for listening to She Fascinates Me, and make sure to come back every week so you can hear another fascinating conversation with Julie and one of her guests. And who knows, like she said, maybe you can suggest someone who fascinates you and you'll hear them on the show. Thanks again for listening, and make sure to like and follow us wherever you can.